Namaste. This session on folk songs of the feminine is being presented as part of the Hindu Women's Festival 2021. Music. Music is a unique art form in that it has the extraordinary ability to bridge differences and to unite. As Hindus, I believe that folk music is an integral part of our religion and culture and is further enhanced by India's cultural diversity. This music truly belongs to the people, and it has been used to convey history, stories, and emotions over generations, to preserve culture, to celebrate festivals such as Navratri, Diwali, and Holi, and mark life events such as weddings, childbirth, and even death. Folk music has also been used to communicate social issues such as women's empowerment and political matters such as the Indian independence struggle. Folk music also varies between the different regions in India, ranging from the energetic Garba in Gujarat to the Bhavagite of Karnataka. On a personal note, I can't think of anything that tugs at my heartstrings like our Hindu folk music. It really feels like being home. Over the past year, I have conducted extensive research on the pertinence of folk music in modern Britain, exploring elements such as history, religion, culture preservation, and language. One of the themes that I will be examining is the portrayal of women in folk music. I have with me today Amita Ravikirana, a multi-talented artist trained in Hindustani classical music. She has performed on stage both in India and in Northern Ireland, where she now resides. Amita ji has also performed on television on shows such as Saregama and on the BBC. Amita ji was awarded a grant under the Minority Ethnic Individual Artist Support by the Arts Council Northern Ireland. She is an active member of the local choir and also runs music classes in Belfast. Welcome, Amita ji.
Namaste. Thank you, Dipti ji.
So, Amita ji, perhaps you could tell us a little bit more about your journey in music and actually folk music, on which I understand that you have a gold medal.
Yes. Okay. I born and brought up in a small town called Mundugod, which is in north part of Karnataka. My parents both are very good singers. They're not trained, but they're very good singers. They keep singing, and by listening their bhajans and their chants and lullaby, that's how I attracted to the music, I think. And it's a it's in blood. It's a gift. At the age of 6, I started learning Hindustani classical music from my guru Srimati Bharati Gokal. I did my bachelor's in music, and then my interest took a little diversion. I studied folklore. After coming here to Northern Ireland, I performed with local musicians and done many collaboration. Did a little bit of theater also. I'm always curious towards different style of vocal music, and then I got an award from Arts Council to learn opera. So that was an amazing experience. The person who never ever heard Western music, so I learned opera. It's a different story. It was very nice experience, and I enjoy composing new songs, especially folk songs. I think I grown, or I are brought up in such a atmosphere where I interacted with the many tribes. Um, that's how I'm fond of folklore or folk music. And people whoever listen my voice or vocal range,
yeah,
they always keep telling, you should sing folk more, like that. I think that compliment gave me more desire to learn and explore in a folk music. And I enjoy cooking and photography. I teach Indian folk art in local community schools and these old age homes. So I'm a active community artist. That is my journey.
multi-talented by the sounds of it.
Thank you.
So Amita ji, when I was doing my research into folk music, um, what seemed to the message that seemed to jump out at me and the narrative that seemed to be conveyed was that women in Hindu folk music are portrayed in two main forms. So one is as a symbol of fertility. So a bestower, a nurturer, or an endurer, for example, Yashodama. And then the second category was the savior and the destroyer, such as Rani Lakshmi Bai or Goddess Kali. Do you think, in your opinion, in your experience, do you think this is a fair analysis? And do you think it is correct? I mean, this sort of broad categorization of the portrait
Uh,
of women?
Yes, I think that's right. And I would like to give a little bit more like explanation on this. The songs, the folk songs, passed orally. It's not written anywhere.
Yeah,
It's passed orally to generation,
yeah,
and don't know who is the poet or lyricist.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so while the song journey
yeah,
might they change the lyrics, somehow someone changed the lyrics, we don't know. So especially the women's folk songs of India mainly describe the household environment and the domestic rituals connected with the festivals and ceremonies.
yeah,
They're also sung while women do such a household chores as a milling grain,
yeah,
churning curd, or working in the fields.
yeah,
And there also they change the emotions, sometimes these activities are same, but the songs are different, the
yeah,
tone is different.
yeah,
Sometimes it's very happy and sometimes it's very sad.
yeah,
So according to her mood, her emotions,
yeah,
whenever she suppressed
yeah,
not to tell her emotions, she
yeah,
started creating these songs to express her emotions.
yeah,
So that is how the strong feminism built in folk music.
yeah,
There are also songs that instead of focusing on domestic rituals, clearly portray the with women's common wishes, their unexpressed emotions or unfulfilled desires, hopes and disappointments, and their relations and reactions with the social environment, and with their family members, how she interact and how they behave with her. And sometimes she wanted to give a small tips or a suggestion to the younger generation, her daughter or her daughter-in-law. So that how she created the songs. And I think we can it's a very vast subject. We can't do category or parts and all, but according to my observation, we can say there is three parts or four parts maybe. The one, she created songs expressing her emotions, her inner voice. She want to tell her emotions, which she can't tell in front of everyone. She created as a song, as an entertainment. But if you felt the emotions, then her song or her efforts is successful. So, and second, maybe which say important message, which convey important message to the society or the younger generation. The third one is documenting
yeah,
um, the historical moment, maybe about the freedom fighters, or some incident. She want to document it
yeah,
as a journaling, you
yeah.
know.
Like history.
So yeah, she has so we have so many songs around these topics.
Yeah.
Every single emotions, if you have cold also, they have a song to give some suggestion or some remedies.
Yeah.
And while when she do the chucky, when she grinding the grains or pounding the grains, she has songs. And while doing that work, she recalls her mother, or she's telling what to do next, what to feed the family, what I have to cook. So she'll plan during that work, and she create the like beautiful literature, which she never wrote anywhere. There is no copyright on it, but it's her creation. It's our creation.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a whole feminism. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And do you have any examples of some of the folk songs that you grew up with?
Yes, sure. I will start with a Saraswati Vandana. It's called Gigi Pada. Okay, it's in Kannada. Um, and when a folk woman, she address a goddess,
Yeah.
Ma Saraswati,
Yeah.
she won't address like us, oh
Yeah.
Mata, like that. She'll just call as her friend. Goddess is her friend. Yo, you just come and do this for me, like that.
Yeah.
So the same time, she have she surrendered herself to her,
Yeah.
but the addressing her is very cute. I felt this song very nice. It's very close to my heart. I will sing two lines for you. ಬಾರ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ನಾ ಮಾಡಾತೇನಿ ನಿನ್ನ ಸ್ತುತಿ, ಬಾರ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ನಾ ಮಾಡಾತೇನಿ ನಿನ್ನ ಸ್ತುತಿ, ಕೂಸುವಾಗಿ ನಿನ್ನ ಧ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡತೀನಿ, ಕೂಸುವಾಗಿ ನಿನ್ನ ಧ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡತೇನಿ, ಕೂಸುವಾಗಿ ನಿನ್ನ ಧ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡತೀನಿ, ಬಂದು ಆಗು ಸಾರಥಿ ಓ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ, ಓ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ. So this is about Mata Saraswati, and she's calling, just come and be my Sarathi to my life. So yeah, and there is documenting stories, and in that category, I feel very famous one about Renuka. Renuka Yellamma is a mother of Parashuram, Lord Parashuram, and there is nice story about her whole life. Renuka, how she born and how she married to Sage Jamadagni, and the anger of him and all. So I'll just sing two lines of that story. ಹುಟ್ಟಿ ಬಂದೆ ಎಲ್ಲಮ್ಮನಾಗಿ, ನಿನ್ನ ಮದುವೆಯ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾರ ವಜಮಾದಗ್ನಿಗೆ, ಹುಟ್ಟಿ ಬಂದೆ ಎಲ್ಲಮ್ಮನಾಗಿ, ನಿನ್ನ ಮದುವೆಯ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾರ ವಜಮಾದಗ್ನಿಗೆ. So the story goes on. These are the first lines. This is very beautiful how the story, if you read the story, it's very long, it's a big book, or when you need days and days to complete the story. But when you listen this song, you can easily connect with Renuka or Ellamma, the goddess. It's very nice.
It sounds like, I mean, this categorization, and like I said, the literature that I have read, perhaps to me, I thought that when I read it, and that's why I was interested to hear your thoughts, because when I read it, I thought, no, I don't actually agree with this categorization, and maybe the categorization was done to simplify, like I said, to simplify the depiction of women in folk music. But to me, it's Hindu folk music is so diverse, and when it comes to women, it sort of portrays all the nuances and intricacies of their lives, of their emotions, of their history, of their general being, of their various roles in society, from a mother to a sister to a warrior, and everything in between. So I think I agree with you that it's definitely much more varied and nuanced. So, Amita ji, common feedback from parents and community leaders is that the current generation doesn't perhaps engage as much with the folk music as the prior generations did. So, touching specifically on the portrayal of women in folk music, could the reason, or one of the reasons for that, be that, for example, the current generation of women might not connect to our music because the role models and the stories that are depicted in these songs are set in a different era. So, for example, a bhajan about Radha's eternal devotion to Lord Krishna might not be relatable in an age of online dating and Tinder.
Um, it's very important to create that atmosphere to connect with these songs. How we learnt, how we even you can take my example. My parents used to sing. I heard. I keep listening them, so I got attracted to the music. So the same thing, we have to keep them, make them listen these songs, and they ask questions. Why and what is song about. If you keep play one song for 5 or 6 times, they will ask what is this song about. Definitely they'll ask. So I would like to share a small incident recently happened with me. My daughter, she's 6 year old, and I was singing a folk song, which is between a mother and a daughter. In that song, mother is said goodbye to her daughter. She's going back to her husband's place, and she's mother is coming back, and daughter is imagining mother's pain, and she's telling, I know you are going, and I know you will go and stand beneath a tree and you'll cry. You won't show emotions to even other family members. You just show your emotions through that tree. In front of the tree, you will cry about me. You miss me, I know. So like that, she'll tell. I'll sing the line for you. ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಕಳುಹಿ ಹಿಂದಿರುಗಿ ಬರುವಾಗ ಸಂಪಿಗೆ ಮರದಾಡಿ ನಿಂತುಕೊಂಡು ಸಂಪಿಗೆ ಮರದಾಡಿ ನಿಂತುಕೊಂಡು ತಾಯವ್ವ ಚಿಂತೆ ಮಾಡ್ಯಾಳೋ ಶಿವನಿಗೆ. So, in this three lines, there is a part called Sampige Mara. Sampige Mara is a magnolia or a champa flower, chameli flower. And I was keep singing these lines again and again. I was practicing for some event, and my daughter heard, and she said, "Why she is crying?" And one of a sudden, I was surprised she's listening. I don't know she's listening, and I'm not at all aware she's listening to my song. And she's saying, "Why she's crying?" And I said, "No, her daughter is going back to her husband's place." So why she's crying? And I explained the rituals,
Yeah.
what happens, how it goes. Like after a wedding in India, we will get only little time to stay with the mother, and only for a vacation or for short term we'll just go and visit her. We'll stay 2 3 days and we'll come back. And she was so worried, and she was so surprised even. And she wanted to know what is the flower, how it look like, because she never seen the flower, the chameli or champa flower. And she says, how it looks. So I googled and I showed her. So just a tune, a simple tune and few words, she connected, and I keep singing them. And she's I don't know she's interested or not. those words she's listening, and she wanted to connect those words, why she's crying, why she's standing beneath the tree, and what tree it is, what is sampige or champa. So I think this is the best tool to teach kids our songs or our folk culture.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then how do you relate that to sort of modern life? How do you relate that to, our lives right now, when they ask questions? Or-
um, Sometimes it's difficult because we are here. I can't give any example.
Yeah, yeah,
And I think we have to be a chain between the past generation and the present generation. Like, I'm the chain between my mother and my daughter, so I have to connect them.
yeah,
So it's our responsibility. It's difficult, I know. Sometimes even I don't have answers for this kids' questions. Why this? Why that? But we have to work out somehow.
exactly. And I suppose if you said, when mummy had to leave Nani, this is how it was, then it probably
Yeah.
would have got,
So she started crying that time when I explained her this thing happens. Like, my mother also came from her mother's place to
yeah,
here, and once I got married, and I'm a wife of your papa, and his home is mine now.
yeah, yeah,
So this is very the young mind sometimes, I don't know what picture she has in her mind,
yeah,
but we have to give that picture how we lived. I don't know how the future will be, but yes, we
yeah.
should give that picture to them.
I suppose you bring, then that's how you bring the element of relatability. So you have the music, you
Yeah,
have the stories and the history behind that song or that folk song,
yeah,
and then you've got your own experience saying, well, actually, this happened to me as well, or this happened to mummy as well. So
yeah,
you sort of that's a really beautiful way actually to
yeah.
explain to a child.
And sometimes, we use proverbs,
Yeah,
and kids won't understand. They if they even they talk a little bit of their mother tongue, but they won't understand the deep down meanings.
yeah,
And I was singing one more song which has these kind of idioms, like, if you do this mistake, you will get punished in
yeah,
this way.
yeah, yeah,
So I was, she also sing that song, and I was saying, ಮಾವಿನ ಮರವ ಕಡಿದೆಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾವಗೆ ಕಾಲಲಿ ಒದ್ದೆಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾವಗೆ ಕಾಲಲಿ ಒದ್ದದ್ರಿಂದ ಮಡಿಲಲ್ಲಾಡೋ ಮಗನಿಲ್ಲೇ. So it says you just kicked someone,
yeah,
so that's why you got punished in some other way.
yeah, yeah,
So it is a nice tool.
yeah.
Uh,
That's
Maybe the punishment which mentioned is very cruel, but the way, if you do mistake,
yeah,
you'll get punished
yeah.
in some manner.
Well,
So it's very nice. Those tools, the folk music, and the female emotions,
yeah,
how it goes. So and looking after old, like our elders,
yeah,
some blind lady, in that song again it will come, ಕಣ್ಣಿಲ್ಲದ ಮುದುಕಿಗೆ ಕಲ್ಮಣ್ ಹುರುಳಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟೆಲ್ಲೆ. Because she can't see, you just gave her some grains with filled with the stones. So again you will get punished for that,
yeah,
that you, like, it's a karma.
yeah.
So
Life
yeah,
lessons as well being
yeah.
conveyed.
So these are lessons, and I feel so, uh, like, sometimes I feel very emotional when I listen these beautiful songs,
Mm,
and the lessons it has in it.
absolutely. I mean, personally, I don't understand why. I'm sure there are people who think that way, but I think that the role models depicted in the Garbas, I'm Gujarati, so I listen to a lot of Garbas. I listen to a lot of Mirabai bhajans, and I think Mirabai's devotion is like a benchmark of what I feel that my devotion should be like. So it's completely relatable. It's an inspiration. So for me, I think I can't think of a better role model actually. But each to their own. And the other thing I was thinking in terms of relatability, perhaps not directly related to femininity, but is the language barrier. So you and I, Amita ji, we're in a fortunate position because we both studied in English, but also then studied Indian languages alongside our studies because we both grew up in India. So we have that grasp of the language in quite a lot of depth. But that children brought up here might not necessarily have that exposure in or that level of exposure. So how do you think that the language barrier also forms an obstacle to perhaps appreciating the music?
Um, I have two aspects for this question, two answers maybe. As a mother, yes, language is a barrier, definitely,
Yeah,
because if you want to enjoy the music or the lyrics, you should know the language. There is no other way. Most of the time, I can't connect with a few English songs because I won't understand the deep down meanings of that song. If it's simple, then I can understand, but same as in Kannada, if I can understand Kannada Bhavagita or the folk songs because I know the language.
yeah,
um, as an artist, as a performing artist, I'm performing only Indian songs
yeah,
till now here in Northern Ireland,
yeah,
and I always get a good feedback from audience. I can see no need to someone come and write something for me or give me like compliments, but I can see when they enjoying when I sing the fast beat songs like Chap tilak sab cheeni re mose na milaike, and Damadam Mast Kalandar, those kind of songs, they'll dancing and they're clapping and they enjoy. They don't know the meaning what song all about. But when I same time when I sing a little bit slower tempo song, they'll they're calm and they're listening.
yeah,
So as an artist, sometimes I feel I miss audience who understand the language. If I can easily connect with them, when they understand the language and the meaning of word by word and the song, and I feel very comfortable.
yeah,
But also they enjoy the tempo of the song and the tune and the melody. They, yeah. So there is two answers. And at my place we made a rule to learn the mother tongue. Okay, so we won't speak English inside the home. It's a rule. And if we want to say any English word, like very like simple words like door or come or go or sit, no, we can't use those words. We have to find the proper word and we have to use that. So that rule made by my husband, and I miss some many times, but he follows, and he made that rule. That's why my both kids learned
yeah,
all three language. Like they can understand Hindi, like they can manage to speak few words, and they're very fluent in Konkani and Kannada. So that's how we managed to teach kids our native languages.
yeah,
And it's important to connect with our parents. Even my parents can't speak English, so it's very important to talk with them.
yeah,
If they know the language, native language, they can easily connect.
yeah,
And also, as I give that example of my daughter, how she connect those words,
yeah,
why she asks questions, because she understand the language, not word by word, but she know the word for tree, and she know word for flower, and she know cry. So these words she know in Kannada, so she can connect why she's crying.
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah.
To form in fact, she knew enough to ask the
Yeah,
question to give her
yeah, yeah,
information, which is
yeah.
which is
So we have to make them listen a lot. If 10 times they listen one same song or a same story,
Yeah.
they'll ask questions definitely. Why this? Why that? So then we have a hold, so we can teach a little bit more. Yeah.
And that's only something that I will touch on in my book on folk music, because I think language is quite key in understanding and appreciating this kind of music. But you know, we have to find a way that it's not, people who don't understand the language can't enjoy the music. So
Yeah, and even they have some key, in Hindustani music, we have tarana.
yeah,
There is no particular meaning for those words. It's nadir der dani udani dhim ta nadir dani. There is no meaning. It's just a tune. The same thing in folk music. Everywhere we have a few these kind of things like dan dan no tano tanan dan no tano. So these key tunes they can catch easily. Kids can catch easily. So we can play with it.
absolutely. So, Amita ji, thank you for your insights today. I have definitely learned a lot, not just about the depiction of women in folk music and about folk music generally, but actually about parenthood as well. So thank you so much. I
Thank
think
you so much.
I think it's fair to say that the representation of women in Hindu folk music is extremely varied and complex. Much like the role of women in modern society, there are so many aspects of our characters that are presented in this music, ranging from a life giver to a nurturer to a protector. Um, there is, I mean, I feel that in this short conversation we've perhaps barely scratched the surface of this fascinating subject. So I'm sure that we will be speaking again, and I'm sure there'll be future discussions on this subject. But Amita ji, in the meantime, thank you so much for your time today, and look forward to speaking to you again.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really nice. Thank you so much.
Namaste.
Namaste.